What's
bud?
up, man?
How you guys doing, man?
Good, bro.
Great.
How
How
you
about
doing?
you?
Oh, man, shoot, if I complain, who give a damn, right?
I'll tell you what, no one gives a shit if I complain, and I complain all the time. So.
All right, there you go. It's good to know. Make sure I keep mine to a minimum. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we always go through everybody's background now that we're doing things from home with Zoom. I see some nice family pictures. What's that plaque back there? What's that Georgia Tech plaque? Is that like player of the year?
Yeah, that's I was inducted to the Hall of Fame a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's like my young picture. That's like little 18-year-old CB about to go through the gambit. You know?
Yeah, man.
How many of these books have you read?
Yeah, what's up with the books? These real books, or these just for show?
Yeah, those are real books. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 for sure. Yeah, half of them.
You can lie.
Right.
I'm not gonna ask you for a fucking book report. You can like all of them, dude.
Well, one of them, like that one, is like it's pretty much like a dictionary, like music on music business, and then the other one's on music publishing, and then I just like Walter Isaacson, so he always writes some crazy stuff.
So you're getting into that's what we're here to talk about today. You get into the music game, so you're trying to read up on it and learn, or is it something that you've always known and always been into, or are you trying to you got to teach yourself the basics?
You do have to teach yourself the basics. There is a mode of that, and then I guess like once you get advanced or whatever, it kind of turns into this thing where, I'm a grown up now, unfortunately, and you got to know law, you got to know taxes, you got to know all those boring things that Chris used to talk about.
You're also rich,
Chris. What are you doing, dude? You're rich,
right? You don't have to do that stuff. You pay people to do that for you.
Just go sit on the beach, bro.
Yeah,
I know. I'm for sure. I hear you, but then what some professionals do when you don't watch them. Chris, we brought these, and you don't know what it is. It's like, okay, no, I can't do that. That's why I had to grow up. I was a kid playing basketball.
I know it's so weird. I'm always so fascinated with the idea that you hit let's say 34, and people are like, "Oh, I love it."
Yeah, all right. Here it is. That's the
my man. See, you're not a grown up yet. You're still a kid.
We get not all the way just yet. Come on,
what are you sipping on right there?
Some beer. We got some St. Arnold Art Car IPA.
We're gonna grab a couple beers. We're Miller Lite guys over here. We're gonna crack a couple with you. We can't let you drink alone, man. Which I do love that you were doing without us, though. Cheers to Chris Bosh.
Cheers, bud. Cheers, guys. Cheers. Yeah.
But I am always fascinated with the transition out of sports, because you hit 34 and people are like, this dude is so old.
Right.
Get him out of here. He's washed up. And I start to think of that, like even LeBron, I'm like, and he's still going, but I'm like, oh my God, the old man's still doing it. He's in his 30s. It's crazy.
For sure, man. For sure. It's kind of an interesting thing. I never got to be the old guy. I was getting older. I stopped playing when I was 32. But you can kind of see the end, but then the language changes. It's like, yeah, you look young out there. Why do I have to look young? I've been playing the same game for more than a decade.
Yeah.
At that level. But it is what it is. I mean, people have that narrative, and then you go from that being the OG in the locker room to you'll go to something else in real life, and it's like, oh, hey, young man.
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, what do you know? When I was in my 30s, it's like, oh.
Dude, they talk about that. I'm a Patriots fan. I'm from Boston, and they're like, Julian Edelman. He's a great veteran presence in the locker room. I'm like, Edelman is my age, and I'm an asshole. What could he possibly be like? I mean, you can obviously teach the younger guys the ways of the world, but I don't know much about the world.
You could teach your world. You could teach sports and all that. But who's to say? He doesn't know much yet about marriage and love and kids and business, and there's a million things that you still have to learn throughout your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. A lot of people, for some reason, maybe it's only in America, they think that money and ability, but money in particular, if you get $1 million, you're supposed to be educated, you're supposed to know these certain things. And it's, I've been in moments where I'm like, no, I'm a kid. I just came from where I came from, and we didn't eat vegetables. Am I supposed to eat vegetables all of a sudden because, I got a contract? Or because you see a person being mature on the court and watching them in their element. Naturally, you'll think, oh, well, he must have or she must have everything together, and nobody does in this world, right? So that's always kind of a fascinating thing to kind of come to grips with and learn and understand as you get older.
Right. I mean, especially as you guys, I'm looking back at that plaque. You were so young, and that whole draft class, man. I mean, everybody.
Oh yeah.
You still had kids coming out of high school. You were only a freshman, like that. And which, by the way, how sick is it to be a part of a draft class that arguably probably is like just the greatest of all time? Those names are fucking crazy.
It's crazy, man. We all came up like at the same time.
So
I mean,
cool.
it happens all the time. But yeah, me and Melo played on the USA basketball team in 2002 in Venezuela for the Championship of the Americas.
Yeah.
Darren Williams was on that team too. Andre Iguodala was on that team too. We're all 18 years. We haven't even gone to college yet. Bron, we were, going at it. I think our team played his team like 2 or 3 times during the summer going into my senior year. And you come up with all these different guys, and, now we're to that stage where unfortunately I'm not playing anymore, but watching them continue to play, watching Melo continue to play, it's just an amazing thing.
Is that something? Is that tough? I mean, obviously it got cut short for you because of health. Yeah. Where do you think how do you think it would have gone for you the last few years? You think you would have moved on? You think you'd be in a couple different franchises? You think you would have paired back up with LeBron? If you could have scripted how it would have gone in a dream scenario, what would have gone down?
Well, I would have finished my contract with the Heat. And, I talked with Pat Riley about it. Man, we had a pretty good team last year, and we felt that we could have competed for a championship. I think we were second or third in the East. We were duking it out with Toronto for that 2 seed. We were clicking. We had a year with Goran, had a whole year with Luol. Hassan was amazing, and nobody really knew about him. We felt that we were putting together a championship contending team, and we were right there. But, that's where it all came to an end. I would have liked to have thought that we'd compete, hopefully, Eastern Conference Finals. Then I was cool with the result after that. We could go for it. Mm-hmm. And then, I was very aware that I was going to be 35 coming out of a contract. And, I was thinking, okay, how can I compete, to reach the mountaintop again? Once you feel it one time, I mean, that's all it is. That's all that exists. So if you have a chance to be on a good enough team to compete for it, man, by all means, go and compete for it. But in my mind, I definitely would have liked to have thought I would have got one more contract, hopefully with a championship contender.
Would have been a nice veteran presence in there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Man. I know my worth. You know what I mean? I would have been the old man.
Do you have
Chris Bosh off the bench? And
do you have like an old man or an OG or a veteran presence helping you in the music game?
I don't want to call them old. I do have presences. They're my peers, great friends, singer-songwriter and producer, Rico Love, out in Miami. He's been a tremendous influence in helping me.
Did your time in Miami affect the music game? I feel like that's a good spot to have.
Oh no,
some
absolutely,
time.
And I still go back and forth every now and then. I'm in Miami, but yeah,
and even Toronto too, man. I mean, both towns you were in have music influences.
Yeah, not so much Toronto. I was trying actually to learn how to play, the piano in Toronto, and I gave up after like a month.
Well, you got out of there before Drake and The Weeknd, right?
Yeah.
No, Drake was going. I got out of there before The Weeknd. When my first year in Miami, I distinctly remember my friends from Toronto coming over, and it was my birthday, and they were playing the House of Balloons like over and over and over. And I'm like, yo, who? Look, okay, Drake made it, guys. Okay, that's somebody else. You guys are reaching. And Drake was around. When we were kids.
Drake, I'll give Drake the credit, like great credit there, where he still feels like a young guy to me.
Yeah,
like he still feels, and maybe that's because of like his fans or I'm a fan too.
He's a couple years younger than me. Yeah, he's a couple years younger than me, and I think he was just grinding. I mean, everybody in Toronto at the time was familiar with each other, but somebody from like a Canadian artist actually ascending in that hip hop genre or whatever, like actually ascending to the top, it was unrealistic. And then, I mean, you know, he dropped his mixtape and it just kept growing slowly but surely. And, you know, it's crazy just to even think about those days. I mean, we were just hanging out, everybody concentrating on doing their own thing. And then, you know, everything just kind of blows up for you know, a select amount of people, and just kind of to watch it happen like that is crazy to think about it.
And so that's what we're hoping for in this second act, right? I mean, you're onto the music game. What are we running a label? Are we producing? What would you say your role here is? What's your goal?
I'm doing both right now. We just created a label, Daddy Jack Records. I have been producing, it's crazy to think about it, for 4.5, 5 years now. And that's when I first started picking things up and first started learning. I decided to create a label and really just go for it. I mean, I love music. I love the music business. I love the opportunities that it provides. And to be quite frank with you, man, it was just something that naturally spoke to me. You know, I'm trying to, you know, the first bout with blood clots, I'm trying to figure out, well, what the hell am I going to do? I've never had to answer that question. What are you going to do outside of basketball? Ever. Mm-hmm. You know, and then next thing I know, I'm strumming a guitar, trying to play it and trying to pick it up. And then I'm in front of the computer trying to program beats. And then I'm asking people for advice. And then I'm in the studio and now we're writing songs. You know, it was like, it was a nice gradual process.
Now, did you help write, because with Desi Brown's song, I Want It All?
Yeah, it's always a collective effort. I know it kind of gets a little fuzzy with who wrote it, who produced it.
Yeah.
If we're all in the room together, it's a collaborative effort. You know, Deezy and I, we've been working on some great chemistry. We've been working together for 2 years now. And so, you know, every day is a challenge, but you know, I mean, there's so many other facets to it, like, you know, paperwork, lawyers, artwork.
Yo, you gotta hire people to do that.
Telling you,
like,
man.
I'm not doing that.
No, I know, but like even the earlier stage, like hire someone to get the mail and be like, yo, you just do this stuff, whatever it is.
For sure. You know, and that's been great. You know, we do have, you know, I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to do everything. We do have a great team. And we're building it constantly. But yeah, I kind of supervise over everything. But eventually, hopefully, my passion is in producing. So keeping an eye on the record label, making sure the business is good. You know, people will do their job there. I'll keep an eye on it. But I think my strength is the creative aspect and really putting ideas together.
What's the goal? I've always wondered this. Like when you set out to start a label or produce whatever, you trying to win Grammys? You trying to sell records? I mean, obviously you'd love to do all of it, but is it money first and foremost? Is it the art? Is it the awards?
It's the art. Yeah, it's the art first and foremost. But then I watched Brian get another trophy, so I'm like, dang. I text him too, like, yo, I'm getting back in there. I got to get another trophy, man.
Yeah, right. You want that hardware?
The second one since I was done playing. You know,
dude, he is.
And I have great friends that have won Grammys too. And I remember being particular friends breaking for sessions, and then they're just being so mentally drained and exhausted. But then 6 months later, I'm seeing them on the Grammy stage accepting their award. You know, so that, and, you know, with Kobe was a great friend of mine. And he was telling me one day how he was going to win an Oscar. You know, we're both retired. We're having dinner. And he's like, yeah, this is happening. I'm doing this Dear Basketball thing. I win an Oscar. And, you know, I went back home like, yeah, everybody, how's Kobe? Like, yeah, I don't know, man. I think he finally lost it. He said he's going to win an Oscar.
Dude,
you know,
you got those friends with those big dreams. You're like, dude, you're a nutcase, man.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I want to support you. I'm going to be there for you, but also maybe set the bar a little lower, man.
It's so funny.
Right, for sure.
Everybody's got that story.
But then he's like this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, okay. Never, ever. But he had a plan. He had the system intact. He knew what he was doing. So that has been hugely inspiring for me. That was inspiring for me before what happened, but his spirit, is still there. I have conversations with him every day, and he's pushing me every day.
Everybody who has that story, when you tell it in the moment, it's like, John said he was going to win an award, and then when he does win it, you're a part of the documentary, and you go like, we all knew, like he had it in him,
I'm not that guy. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm like, yeah, nah.
You were crazy.
And even the Drake thing, right? Nobody thought Drake. If anybody from Toronto says, "Oh yeah, Drake," we knew. Unless you were in that camp in the studio with him, there was no way you knew that it was going to go to the level it did. Those guys were putting in the work. They had their plan. They executed it, and it worked.
The plan that LeBron keeps executing seems to keep on working, man. He's a freak. He's a nut. When you were talking to him, when you were texting afterwards, anything else that he had to say regarding this latest ring that you can at least share with us?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, it's not even about those things. I think it's more in the hindsight. I think for him right now, once you win one, it's like, okay, we gotta win another one, because it's only a certain small window if you have a championship contending team. With him, I guess, if you switch teams, you can elongate that window. But yeah, I mean, it's just about the next. It's always about the next thing coming.
Who do you think he was talking about when he said, "Put some respect on my name"?
Critics.
I
believe.
See,
that's me. Too. That's just my opinion.
The debate around here was that was directly about the Jordan versus LeBron debate, because the guys around here said, "Well, who else could it be?" And I was like, "Are you serious? There's a million people who criticize LeBron. A million. Like, it doesn't have.
And they try not to put him in that space. And they always, it's kind of like not appreciating greatness as we're watching it happen.
Oh yeah. Totally taking it for granted.
I think this title made LeBron versus MJ, if it didn't seal the deal to you, it made the debate more boring. Where like you used to have more of a leg to stand on, where now it's like he's done it everywhere. He's done it 4 times in 3 different cities with all these different
Laker, you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, like he's revived just dead franchises. It's not fun to me, at least. It's just like it's not fun anymore. Mm-hmm. There used to be like interesting arguments. All you can say is it's different generations.
And that's what it is. I mean, I never liked the comparison anyway, because. If you were to compare styles, MJ was more like a ninja assassin. He's gonna scale the walls, do acrobatic feats, and just dismantle you with fundamentals. LeBron is more of a continuity player. He's into the flow of the game, passes it, of course, a little bit more, but he's a point guard, and he gets not that Jordan didn't, but LeBron seems to be more focused on getting guys involved.
Well, that's why
he's going to score the way he scores.
Even when the game 5 loss, I guess, when he passed it Danny Green, and people were like, well, Jordan never would have passed that. It's like, yeah, I know. Jordan never passed it, period. And LeBron does. LeBron's always.
But then, Steve Kerr, top of the key. Yeah. Right? 9, Absolutely. What was that, 9-7?
Yeah. So that happened. Judge Bushler or Paxson, yeah. I mean, it happened.
You know what I mean? Well, he passed it to Grant first. Well, Jordan brought it up, got off the ball, went to Pippen to Grant, boom, back out to the wing to Paxson. So, you're very aware of, you know how to play the game. Right. It's just everybody has their different styles.
In all your years with him, did he ever directly address any of the LeBron MJ talk?
Never.
Never,
ever. It's not even, it's so funny to watch people. Who's the GOAT? I've hung with Kobe. I've hung around Jordan, Magic, Bron. Never heard a word of it.
Really?
It's an argument that nobody cares about.
Do you think that, because, like, maybe not in front of you, do you think that in front of a family member, a friend, do you think they ever address it, like, in privacy, deep, dark corners?
Privacy, I would.
Yeah.
You ask me things, I'm a competitor. You ask me, I'm the best 4-man that ever lived.
Right.
If it wasn't for Tim Duncan. Is that true? Probably not. But I feel that way,
Do you think Bron winning one with Rondo makes, because I know you were a part of why that Celtics team first of all, got dismantled. Second of all, why they fell out of kinship with Ray Allen because he went to go play with you guys.
Yeah.
And like they all just stopped talking to him, right? Like they all shut him out of their lives. And it like became this. I'm from Boston, so like it became this weird rallying thing that like everyone loved. Like it's so cool. And for a split second there, it was cool. Like when we still had that rivalry before you guys just fucking again got rid of us as a team, it was still cool being like, yeah, to hell with him, fuck him. And then it got silly over the years. Yeah. And now that Rondo's gone and won with Bron, it's incredibly silly.
Right. I mean, I think sometimes it's kind of hyper focused in the beginning, and hey, we all get in our feelings, right? And yeah, if I totally get it. Ray coming to Miami, how people would not like that. But eventually, it's a game, and we compete. You compete as hard as you can. You try your best to do your best, right? Mm-hmm. You put in all the work you can, and then afterwards, man.
But they just had the 10-year reunion of that team winning the championship. They didn't invite Ray.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see, guys not be. I mean, now with that said, I don't know anything about the story, but in moments like that, have the whole band, or don't do it at all. But that's on them. They can do whatever they want.
Well, it's also easy to say, when you were a part of the dynasty, and you guys, you were winning, so
totally
it's all gravy.
Easy for me to say.
It's all gravy for anybody in Miami.
100%.
Right.
And like I say, hey man, I'm not on the Boston Celtics 10-year reunion committee.
Right.
They can.
Things are a lot more fun in my. How fun was that, dude? I mean, that must have been. I mean, and you had your moments with the Spurs and the Mavs where you fell short, and I'm sure there was some criticism, and it wasn't all gravy, it wasn't all roses, but for the most part, balling with that crew in that city must have been unbelievable.
The more we get removed from it, the more we understand. Like every time I go back to Miami, people pull me to the side, even if I'm just walking down, pre-COVID and everything. But they would be just like, man, you remember how it was. It was more than just a basketball game. Every game, like Floyd is there, Ray Ross is there, Khaled is there,
Bieber was a big Heat fan that day.
The Biebs is in town tonight. Pat Riley's up there sitting with Michael Douglas. You know what I mean? And that's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, wait till the Lakers, come to town.
It was
a fun time.
It was a circus every Heat game. I remember.
For sure.
And I didn't see all of them, obviously, but I remember every Heat game I watched. There was like amazing. Like when it would be like
a lot of fun.
It was like what do they call it? Celebrity Row in LA, whatever it is. It's like, or is that in New York?
No, either way, but it was one of those cities.
Everyone again, like you said, on a Tuesday night, it was crazy. I remember, dude, that I was probably mid-college at that point, and maybe mid to late college, whatever it was. And like we were living in the summer, and we like went out to go watch your like announcement party, where like the not one, not two, and like we gotta go to a bar to watch this.
Where were you?
I was in Newport, Rhode Island.
You were in Newport. They showed that on TV there?
Yeah. It was everywhere, man.
So let me tell you. So I know, everybody we can laugh at it now. Mm-hmm. Everybody kind of gives us a tough time. But dude, we didn't know that was televised everywhere. At least I didn't know. It's like, oh yeah, Fox Sports, Miami, the South.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't know it was, at least I didn't know it was televised everywhere. So
how kind of in that moment, were you like, was there any part of you that was like, this is a little silly, or you were like, fuck it, let's just go have some fun?
I want it all.
Yeah.
Look at this. There's 20,000 people here, and it's no basketball. And
crazy.
Come to find out, like it was already set up for a concert. Yeah. We were just that in between day, and so I watched wrestling all my life. So I knew exactly what to do. You can watch the replay. You saw what I was doing. I'm like, crowd activation, baby. Give it to him, baby. Ric Flair. You got to give him that Ric Flair. Hey. How y'all feeling tonight over here, baby?
You know what's so funny though? Like when you put it that way, that sounds like fun and likable. Like if you guys were maybe able to preface that or explain yourselves afterwards, where it was like, yeah, man, to me that was like I was living out a childhood dream of being a wrestler, as opposed to the other the people who hated on you guys thought of that as like arrogance and like they're so cocky, and it's like I was pretending to be fucking Ric Flair for the night, man. Leave me alone.
I mean, it's one of the things too. Like, what do you think happened? Do you think we, said, hey, we're coming to Miami? All right. we need a stage over here. All right, I want the crowd there. We didn't plan it,
right?
But I still understand, why everyone reacted the way they did. I totally get it. We're in our own world, bro.
I saw you on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and you were talking about how, like, I never realized that it got cut. Where LeBron, he didn't say we're coming here. He said, like, we don't want to win just one, or we don't want we want to come here and win one, not one, not two, not three.
Of course we want,
and it's just like we want to. Of course we want to. He wasn't guaranteeing it, but it's cut so short that it seems like he's making a guarantee up there.
We gave it right to him.
Yeah.
Not one, not two, and then it gets spun, and it's like, oh boy.
Was there ever a talk like, yo, Bron, you had to say 8, dude. You couldn't have stopped at 3. You had to say 7 and 8, man.
Hey, for real, we were there. In my mind, I said, yo, we could win. We could be the first team to win 4 championships in a row. And
it wasn't that crazy. And if it wasn't for Tim Duncan.
You're just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Yeah, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, man. You're not really thinking about how hard it is. You don't know how hard it is. You don't know about what's about to come your way. You don't know that you're about to go on stage and people will perceive that you're going to win 8 championships in a row. You know what I'm saying? We got thrown a lot of curveballs pretty quick, but that's the business, and we had to learn that. And
well, it was still a pretty successful run, Chris. Yeah, I mean, you made it out.
Yeah. With that said, look, we still delivered on some fronts. It's extremely hard winning the championship. It's hard going back to back. I have so much more respect for the Laker teams and the Bulls teams that did it, because it's damn near impossible to three-peat. But we had a crack at it, and that's all you can ask for sometimes.
Amen, man. We're going to wrap up here with a couple questions from the internet. It's a game we play called Answer the Internet. Yeah, hypothetical questions and whatnot. Just start off with the free throw one here.
Okay. Let's say you're at the free throw line, okay?
Yeah.
If you miss it, wait, what is this?
You have one shot at a free throw. You make it, you get $10 million. You miss it, you can never text message ever again. No, and no DMs, no type of written communication ever again. You taking that shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I take it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Say it. Can I warm up or?
No. You know what?
So many factors.
You're coming in cold. You're the first basketball
player. As long
player.
as we're not outside. If we're outside, I'm not taking that bet. If it's like one of them park rims with
like the triple rims and the metal net. All right.
I'm not taking that. They took enough of my money at the carnivals. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
If
so
we're
indoors,
in a gym, I'll take that.
Indoor, you take it. All right.
Yeah, I'm taking that.
All right. You were on Entourage. If you could have a cameo on any current television show, what would it be?
Any current?
Any current TV show.
Man, dude, I don't even watch TV.
Really? Nothing in retirement?
No, man.
I
probably. Man, I guess I would go with Fargo because Chris Rock is in it.
There you go. That's a
and
good one,
it's such a crazy story, and everybody is like so into their characters. I definitely,
very well respected too. And they do. There's always a lot of cameos in that, and people are like, "Oh shit, you were the guy in Fargo." So good choice.
Absolutely, yeah.
If your girlfriend's birthday or wife's birthday lands on the biggest sports day of the year, how do you play it? Let's say
sports day.
Let's say Game 7 happened, and your wife's birthday was Tuesday night. What are you doing?
Let me see. Man, I would have a conversation with her and see how she feels. And if she's like, nah, let's, that reservation that you said you booked, let's go do it. We do it. Yeah. But I would only watch Game 7 with permission. For sure.
Is there a feeling when you, I was about to say when you graduate, once you retire, is there a feeling of like, you know what, you've pretty much like lived on my schedule for the last, 10 years, and now it's your turn? You have to kind of like, does she drive for now?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm totally, with that. I mean, my wife in particular, she held it down for so long. I mean, you don't understand how much the wife does until you're home day to day.
Right.
And I mean, like the minute I wasn't playing basketball anymore and didn't have that schedule, I remember coming downstairs. I got a lot of kids, and I remember just coming down and being like, man, it's loud in here. Really loud, you know? And she's like, yeah, make sure they're in the playroom before your nap. You know what I'm saying? So it's those little things like that you don't even see coming or even think. Yeah, she's got it all. She can do what she wants.
It probably helps for you even to have that structure. Because, like, when was the last time before sports ended that you were in, like, complete control of your life? Like 16 years old?
Man, yeah. I control, right? I'm living under my parents' roof. I would say 16 going into 17. I would say 17, only because that is when it really got picked up. That's when I became a serious prospect. Mm-hmm. Like when I was 16, it's like, okay, this kid maybe can play. And then, you know, I was pretty much top player in Texas. And so that's when the narrative changed a lot. So that's when it was basketball, pick you up, game, hook. If you're not at practice or not, somebody is checking up. It's either a coach, a mom, a parent, a friend. Where were you? So, you know, the checks and balances started happening quite quickly. But I'll say 16 and a half, 17.
All right. You're put in charge of running Heck. It's the afterlife for people who aren't quite bad enough for hell. What is a punishment you decide?
We're in Heck. What's something that I would make them do?
We've gotten, like, you have to stand in line without a phone.
Yeah, what's like the most aggravating thing you go through on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, man.
You know what? I'll throw out an answer for you. You have to sit in Chris Bosh's kids' playroom and just hear.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You gotta, man. That's a good one. But it's so rewarding in the end.
Yeah. Well, other people's kids, though.
I would
your
take
kids is fine.
Yeah. Your kids. I would take a person. If you didn't have any kids, you got to go with multiple kids in the playroom, and you've got to get out of here by being a good person and doing what they want to do.
That might be for hell. That might not be Heck. That might be hell.
Last one. We're going to let you go on this. Would you rather be a pig and be able to orgasm for 30 minutes or be a lion and who has sex 60 times a day?
Good grief.
Yeah, so it's one giant one or 60 times. Quantity over quality.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Pigs is 30 minutes.
Yep.
Who comes up with this stuff? I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the pig, man. Lion, you got to slow down. You got to slow down, baby. You can't be just out there like that. You know what I mean? You're gonna have kids everywhere. You know, child support. That's not a joke.
All right, man. Thanks so much. Really looking forward to this second career here, man. I'm gonna check out the music. And
DZ Brown's out now. I Want It All. It's about a little Kobe tribute. All platforms.
All platforms. And we're gonna keep coming every month at Daddy Jack Records. Daddy Jack Records is coming, man. Appreciate you guys.
Beautiful.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much, Chris. Great talking to you, man.
Appreciate it. Nice.
Listen, if you made it this far into the video,
which is far, like no one ever does that on the internet.
Like it's the end. You made it to the end of the video.
Full fucking video.
You watched the whole thing. So if you liked it and you watched the whole thing, why don't you subscribe?
It means you like us.
Click the subscribe button, because if you don't, I'm gonna fucking murder John.
And I'm gonna like it.
Kill him with my bare fucking hands.
Yeah.
And if you weren't sold on this video, there's plenty more. Watch what's next up and then subscribe. But just subscribe so I don't have to fucking kill him.
Well, I don't know. Do what you want, but subscribe. Probably.